MTN SME Hub. Link to growth, link to success, link to the ultimate resource for business advice and insights.
Welcome back to the Big Small Business Show, and in studio with us today we've got Jade Kirkel and Daniella Silbermann. They are co-founders of Joy. So I'm going to ask both of you, in the business, what takes up most of Jade's time in the business, other than the lifts, okay, but in the business?
Other than being a mom. So I predominantly focus on marketing and branding, and Dani predominantly focuses on product and operations. So we're quite specific in our roles. Most of my life in Joy consists of design work, influencer strategies, constant marketing collateral, keeping up with the website, creating new content. A lot of it also is innovation, so new products, which we both do together. But I spend a lot of time in the design, creative, branding space of the business.
Okay. You?
So once it goes from, the branding and the concept, I then have to execute that into actually making the products come to life. And then that involves the supplier relationships and actually briefing that over and developing the product between us and supplier, and the nitty-gritty of all those details, and seeing the product come from the 3D render into the actual developed product that lands on your desk in a shoebox. How that packaging actually gets made, delivered, arrives, couriered over, and all the managing the full supply chain from start to finish.
Okay, now I'll ask you a weird question. What are you good at?
I'm definitely live in the creative world. I have a very good eye for design. I love great copy. I love brilliant branding and marketing ideas. So I'm very specific and hands-on when it comes to brand. It sometimes stands in my way because I can turn down an opportunity because it's off-brand, or I can, not develop a product because I don't think it fits what we stand for. So sometimes Dani and I do get into these, take your brand cap off for a minute. But I'm kind of like the brand Rottweiler, in a nice way. I'm a very nice person, but very protective of brand, and very, very good at understanding the aesthetics and design and the look and feel and the tonality of a brand. Not very good at the admin.
That's what I'm going to ask you next, so don't jump that one.
Sorry,
but now you can prepare for what are you bad at. Okay, what are you good at?
So the practical, detail-orientated side that will then say, okay, well, we're going to take that then, and Jade will be like, we've got to implement this new campaign, and then I'll be like, okay, cool, so I'm going to make that happen, and then all the operations and logistics to get that. So we'll have a new campaign and a new product concept, and then letting that roll out and be live, and then actually come to life so that there is something to actually sit on the shelf or be at retail or be online to advertise, so that it's not just concept, it's actually execution. And that's why the two, you can't have the product without the concept, and you can't have a product without.
But are you bad at what she does and you bad at?
No, Dani's very creative.
Okay.
She's super creative, but she's kind of let me roll with it because I'm a little bit more aggressive about it.
You did say you were a nice person.
I'm a very nice person.
Okay. Just asking. Okay, so what are you bad at?
I feel that I lack a little bit of attention to detail when it comes to things like product, for example. Dani will notice that the inner sole is not thick enough, and that will go straight over my head. I don't see that. Or she'll notice that the box dimensions are totally off, and I'm like, but the colors are great. So there's a lot of attention to detail that Dani's eye automatically sees, and I see brand and she sees product. And it's quite weird that our brains are kind of wired by that. So I do rely on her a lot to fill the gaps when I'm missing that attention to detail on even, on the website. I'm trying to make it look beautiful and pretty and a beautiful picture and image and content. And Dani's like, where's the shop now button? So sometimes the practical admin things, my brain can take over with the branding and creative and marketing. And Dani steps in and kind of fills that gap, and I feel like I do the same for her when it comes to.
So what are you bad at?
Yeah, it's that perfect yin-yang flow, which is why we often say it's like the joy and the two need to work together. Sometimes the detail orientation can stand in the way of sometimes needing to execute or get something rolled out faster. And that's sort of needs a bit of both to make
So
it
who
go.
sells? Who actually sells? So when you got that egg shop opportunity, the retail store, who sold? Who made the sale?
I'd say it's a pretty
Yeah,
joint.
I think it's both of us. Networking is huge. So, oftentimes I found, and I've actually found both of us have found this to be a very significant part of the business that we didn't anticipate, was this networking, was this relationship building, and who do you know, and how do they know you, and how do they help you? And people do help, which is
it's been
amazing.
remarkable.
We've really been blown away by that. So a lot of the time, it just kind of what circles you're in, what business lunches you're at, what rooms you're
But
in.
how does that impact? I'm trying to link that back to if your predominant route to market is online first, how does all the networking help?
I mean, it's helped us enormously, the networking for online. We have had at least 6 or 7 calls with online retailers. The guy who started Yappy Chef, for example, Andrew, he's been phenomenal in helping us build our e-commerce site. He's been there and done that, and he's given us all his advice and lessons. We've probably phoned and spoken to about 10 big brands in South Africa that are on e-commerce through relationships and networking that have helped us enormously.
And they'll happily give of their time. You always feel bad, that person's so big, they're so successful. Why would they give us an hour of their time to just help out of goodwill? And they just really do. And that advice is like a building block to just helping us do what we've done.
Okay, I just want to push on that a little bit more, because what I'm hearing is the networking is delivering advice, but it's not delivering sales. Is that right? Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
I'm not direct sales. I'm not saying marketing through the website.
I guess it's the knowledge that helps us get to the point of then knowing enough to start generating the sales. And it's been that, from that knowledge, we've then been able to really plug in and get our hands dirty and have those meetings then with the retailers and go in a lot more experienced than we would have been. And it's those stepping stones that we then activate, and the sales then come from sort of the foundation they've given us.
Okay, I think I've heard enough. And just to reiterate, the question here is how to prioritize what to do given time, being time-starved, and what to do and what to focus on. So after the break, we'll be back with some things to think about.
MTN SME Hub, link to business success.